I was just happy I got to watch the Charles Johnson finish. That was like my
Yeah.
highlight of that card. Like as long as I saw that, I was like, okay, I didn't miss
You know
anything
what?
too crazy.
You know what's crazy too is like I forgot who reported. They said that okay, man. Here's my thing. So we were talking about Paramount last time,
Hmm.
right? Are they
Yeah.
seriously making fighters pay to go fucking fight in other countries?
What do you mean?
Like the UFC, they're not paying for their board and their flight to get to the fight.
No, they pay for their flight and board, but it's
Airfare?
like limited to it's like the fighter and like two coaches, and then anyone else you want to bring to
Hmm.
facilitate that win, you got to pay for that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
No, because I mean, I read the report, a report where it said, Charles Johnson basically like had zero in the bank leading up to that fight.
Hmm. Did
That's
he?
crazy.
Did Charles say that anywhere though? That because
I
I've
don't know
been
if he said it, and I don't know if he confirmed it. I saw it was reported.
yeah, because I saw, but I also saw some comments of people saying like Charles also put it out there. Like I just am not a fan of like Ariel and Charles's manager like discussing his finances.
Yeah, I'm kind of low key on that same tip too, bro. Like
Like
they'll
the
put money
first thing that's what you put out when he gets the win. Like he was
Was
broke.
it,
It's just like
yeah, was it
it's a
Ariel? Yeah.
weird way of like. I guess he's trying to. My guess for Ariel is like he's trying to put this storyline out there so that he can ask him to come on this week and then like basically talk about it there, and then people know the backstory so that it hypes up the interview. You know,
Yeah,
Charles
that's
Johnson's
pretty cool.
coming on, and then they know in the back of their mind, oh, he was broke. Ariel's probably gonna ask him about being broke, but it's like I don't know. It's just kind of weird. Like
Yeah,
it's like
I
damn, Charles Johnson just knocks this guy out, and then it's like, he's got like $5 in his bank account. It's just like I mean, I don't know. Like how about talking about the technicality of the KO? How about talking about like how the guy was like grappling him? He might have gotten a little bit tired, left his hands down, got caught. Like I mean, we could go so many different ways with it. Knockout of the year candidate, but it's just like you're just going with what his manager also fed you. His manager's
yeah.
come. I think his manager's trying to get him on the show that way. Hey, let's have Charles Johnson on. Here's the angle. He's broke. It's just a little bit weird to me.
Yeah, I wouldn't want my business out there like that.
Hmm.
Even if
Um,
it was to like get me more views, I don't know. I'd have a hard time swallowing that one. But I mean, he got his money in his pocket right now, so that he got the win. So,
he
he
got the
really.
win, but I mean, I guess it speaks to a bigger problem too, a little bit, which is here's my biggest thing. I feel like these guys, if you can't average 10K a month, that's why like when I used to want to be like a UFC fighter when I'm young, right? And I used to think like mom was like, how much do those guys make then? And I'm like, I don't know, like I think like 50,000 or some shit like that, like per fight. That's what I would have thought. And then I
Yeah,
looked it up and it was like fucking 12K or something like that. It could be 6K and then 6K, like so you could only walk away with 6K. You feel me? If you lose,
yeah,
like I was like, what was I gonna say? Once I realized that like because I also analyzed the fact of like in an ideal circumstance you need about 3 months for a training camp. You know, to prepare for a world class opponent in the UFC, you need about 3 months. So how are you going to make 12K in 3 months? And you're going to be a professional athlete? Like that doesn't even justify. Like I could make 12K in 3 months working at McDonald's, probably more. Like a shift leader at McDonald's makes more than 12K a month.
yeah,
So like I'm just putting it out there like a little initial thought of when I was younger and I thought I wanted to be a UFC fighter, I thought they make 50K. And once I realized that they don't even average 10K, like you don't even get 30K per fight, like bare minimum base pay, I was like it's not worth it. I need it like that's the goal, right? Everybody wants to make 10K a month, right? That's kind of like a big goal for people. So like
yeah,
that's why I did the math. I was like that don't compute. Like I got to figure out something else. You know what I'm saying? Then I go to school and shit like that, think about media. I'm like, okay, there's some journalists that make about, 10K a month. It's not starting, but
right,
I figure when you're risking your health and your well-being, you know what I mean, and like injuring your body, it's not worth $12,000.
right,
It's not even worth anything below 10K a month.
yeah, yeah. Unless you're just a crazy fighter,
What do you mean?
like some fighters are just that's all they know.
Yeah,
That
but
that's
if you just want to fight aside from the money, but we're talking about a professional sport, you know what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't know. I find it
But
odd. Like
what I'm saying is there's some fighters that don't think that far.
no, they don't because they just like to fight, right?
Right, right.
But I mean, it's just like how in this day and age is that still a thing? That was about 10 years ago, and I'm trying to figure out my career path.
Yeah, yeah. It is though. It is. Hey, so what were you gonna bring up?
This is what I just brought up.
No, no, you said you were gonna say something else.
I want to know your thoughts on fighter pay. This is what we're talking about right now.
Oh, I mean, my thoughts. Don't yell at me.
I'm bringing up a topic, and you're like, yeah. So what were you gonna bring up?
No, I mean, I mean, yeah, it's. I think we were talking about.
Is Charles Johnson making good money? Should this be happening to people?
No, no.
So let's talk about it.
Yeah, I was on the when let's just say the initial story, I was like, man, bro, like, it's a prime example of fighter pay, prime example of like, these fighters living paycheck to paycheck, putting their livelihood on the line. If they get a win, if they get a bonus, yeah, they get to kind of increase that, but hopefully with the Paramount deal, that some of these guys get to make a living, and not to have to scrape by and all those things that cost in between, because even some of those fighters too, in between the training camps, you got if you're trying to get to that next level, there's nutritionists, other coaches that you're trying to bring in, fighters that you're trying to bring in to help train you. That all costs money. So even let's say they get 100 for a fight, maybe it charged them 30 for that training camp.
Investments in all the kind of stuff, ice baths, all kinds of stuff, supplements,
all kinds of stuff. Right. Not including any of your family, like expenses, just fighter expenses. And those top 15 guys, I mean, they're getting a little bit more than the average guy, but I think the top 15 guys are probably getting what, 50K a fight.
Yeah, I guess some of them. We don't always know, but I mean, let me just look at Charles Johnson on Tapology real quick, because this is.
So let me ask you this: the homie Dumas, for his upcoming fight, you think he's gonna get 50?
He might get about 50.
Because he's not ranked.
Yeah, he might get about. It's weird. Like, I don't know how these guys justify their earnings, right? Because I was gonna say, this is my point too, right? It's a good question that you have too, because it's like SD Dumas. How much do I think he'll get? I think with his amount of fights he's had, right, he should get about 50, like at least 25, right? He probably won't make 100, but he's got to be on at least that 25 and 25.
Here's
but with that being said, Charles Johnson has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 fights in the UFC. This is my point, is like a 12-fight UFC veteran. He's going in on his 12th fight. He has 11 racked up already. He fought in March. That's like less than 6 months removed. Like, how the fuck is this guy broke? Coming off a 4-fight win streak, he goes on a 4-fight win streak, right? Suffers a loss. So that's 4 fights where you get both checks. All later in your career, you already knocked off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you got to be on your second contract when you went on this 4-fight win streak. How are you broke? How much are they paying you? I mean, like, we don't know, but like, that speaks to it. I would imagine a guy like this has got to be getting like almost around 100 now. I mean, he's 11 fights in.
Yeah, I would assume that as well. And
is it a spending problem?
We'll
never know.
We'll never know. But I was thinking about this too. Like, if you were to start the year as a fighter, trying to just make 100K, so you're thinking in your mind, man, I'm trying to get 25 to 50 per fight. I need to fight 4 times this year to survive. That would be my mindset, like December, right?
Right.
Like, or let's just say October. Like, dude, manager, like, hey, do we got anything booked? I need to fight in January. Yeah. Like, hey, and that's not even that's telling yourself, hey, I'm not going to get injured. My opponent's not going to get injured, because that happens too. There's things out of your
things get delayed and all kinds of things.
Look at Nursultan. Like, I'd be pissed at Brian Battlebaum. Well, like, you just fucked up my paper.
Exactly, because he also just your bag.
Right.
But he also just paid for that training camp, was what I was going to say.
Yeah. And so like, these are all things you have to put into the equation too. And you're right too. Like, and you get to a point like when you start becoming like, the walking Buckley, where you get, okay, I can take a little bit of a breather. I got a little bit of money that I'm because I'm making a little bit more money too. I can take a break where so much pressure isn't on me. But you're still now understanding bigger expenses, right? Because it's almost like fighting like the UFC game.
Yeah.
Where you win a fight and the shorts cost more and the
You're
whole
spending your whole check on bullshit like fucking upgrades.
right. It's just almost the same thing in real life.
Yeah. I feel like it should just be so cut and dry. Like even back 10 years ago, what I was thinking, I feel like it could still stand today. The guys need to come into the UFC and just sign on a $50,000 deal. I guess where I would say why it doesn't happen. Would you agree or disagree with me that, like, or do you think a lower number should be had? A fighter should come in onto the UFC with a 25 and 25 contract. That way they can know if worst comes to worst and I lose 4 fights, I still walk out with 100 bands. What do you think? Is that too high or too? What would you say?
No, I think that's if you're just starting and like I don't even
First
know
contract.
What are the Dana White Contender Series guys getting?
6 and 6.
Fuck, that's crazy. That's crazy because those rights they have on ESPN blowing that out of the water. Like
we're talking billions.
Yeah, we are talking billions.
We're not talking millions.
Yeah, we're talking billions. We're talking billions. That's crazy, bro.
The point is millions. The point is millions.
Yeah, that's like crumbles. Like a fucking
It's less than crumbles, bro. It's like we're talking like fractions of percentages.
Yeah, that's
12 bands is a fraction of a percentage. But I would say, and I've said this I think in the past, a lot of those guys that come in off Contender Series, they don't deserve more than 12K. It's shit talent. Some talent is good coming off the Contender Series. Don't get me wrong. You've had the O'Malley's, you had the Jamal Hill, but look at both of them, right? They both got the world title, but look at them now.
Yeah.
Were they guys who could and they're kind of in the middle of their prime. Like Sean O'Malley got everybody's argument. He got coasted to it. He got that smooth road. Once he had to start defending that title against everybody, it just hasn't worked out for him. Jamal Hill, same type of thing. They didn't say he got the smooth road, but he got there are things like he beat Glover Teixeira, who retired after that fight. Yeah. So it's like the Contender Series guys, they don't deserve 50 bands. I think they got to bring in better level talent, but I don't know. This is just my thing.
And I would say this, because the more I started thinking about the UFC and the Paramount deal, the more I started realizing I was like, okay, the NFL is like the emblem and the shine off that logo is so big, but it's only really big in the United States. Yes, there's 150 million people that might watch the Super Bowl or something, right?
Yeah.
And I really started thinking about it. I was like, all right, but the UFC has that worldwide audience. It does change some things. It kind of did change my perspective how I looked at the UFC. I was like, if the average NFL just guy that's on the roster, bro, like he's not even a starter. I think he's like a third string or something.
Yeah.
I think the minimum pays $180K.
And
just to put your life at risk. Because those third stringers could still get paralyzed. Something could happen to them. Every day there's an injury in the NFL. Right now, training camp started. We have the preseason games that there multiple people gone for the rest of the season.
The bench players make enough.
Yeah, they're gonna have $180K coming in minimum. Some of those second string guys are $500 to $1 million, right? But because it's a $1 billion industry, where the UFC is at, and they don't have. I
think what they say is the difference is that there's the revenue share, right? There's like a split, the players union, with the NFL, which the UFC it doesn't exist. So there's no benefactor. Well, the fighters can never get together. They can never all collectively sign.
And they don't want him. They don't want him to do that.
The UFC doesn't want him to do that.
Right.
Of course, the UFC doesn't. But I guess if the UFC or fighters in theory were to band together, they could probably make a change. But they haven't even gotten that far.
Yeah.
To test the UFC to see where they would play their hand next.
To push them, yeah.
Imagine that John Jones type petition with collective bargaining. I think that's what
Right.
it's called, right? Collective bargaining. UFC doesn't have that.
Yeah, that's so funny. The petition, John Jones.
Yeah, but I mean, if you say 180K, right, in NFL, that makes sense. These guys, like, it's just like, first off, I think it's an image thing. Like, does the UFC really want me to keep talking about this? Because I'm not gonna stop. I mean, it's your image. Like, you could shell out the 50. We just said 12K and 12K is fractions of percentages. 50 ain't that much higher. That's like 3xing it. Okay, a little bit more than 3xing it. So, like, I mean, I would just want to save my image first and foremost. Like, to have it out there that people could be signed to the biggest promotion in the world for a respective sport and they won't be able to make a living. Like, imagine a girl coming over, right? And you're like, hey, I'm a UFC fighter. And she's like, damn, like, fuck yeah, like, hell yeah. Like, she'd be calling you every weekend, like, hey, let's go out. And she finds out you're kind of broke.
Right.
You know, because you got to be real, like, hey, I got rented up this month, you feel me, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, damn, like, I thought you were, like, a UFC fighter, though. And you're like, yeah, but I just got signed. Like, I actually, like, just made my first fight. I only made, like, 12K. Had to give away, like, 4K to my manager. It's just, like, a weird image thing. Like, how do you fucking compute that? And that is dudes today. Unless you get a 50K
100%.
bonus, you are that. I just fucking said your situation. You
And
went
that's
out and got
crazy.
a girl because you're a UFC fighter and she found out you're broke.
And that's crazy that it's like 50K's like, whoa, 50K.
50, I mean, it would be kind of sick, right? It would be like, it's not that much though, because 100 bands in today's day and age is probably even negative. You know, you could probably only live in an apartment.
Especially when every time they go to the press conference, what do they say? Oh, we broke records. Broke the
gate, blah 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 blah.
Merchandise, pay-per-view. Oh my God, fucking, we made so much money this weekend.
Crazy.
Be glad you're getting 50K.
And see how they kind of almost, like, the fighters, I don't even know if they'll realize this, but I almost just had like an epiphany. Think about it, right? I'm calling for a minimum purse 50K, but then that's what, like, the 50K bonus is. So, like, the 50K bonus would almost have to be, like, morphed if you give the minimum purse as, like, a 50K.
Oh, yeah, bro, they easily.
These guys are begging for 50K, right? On the mic after their fights, begging for it. When I'm sitting here right now telling you, that should be, like I told you, I thought that was the norm. I found out it wasn't. I'm like, dude, fuck being a UFC fighter. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? National television, like, worldwide headlines, and I'm making like 12K? No, thank you.